The price action is red because of macros and rate cuts. We've also got a big Fed meeting this week. No, it's not FOMC, it's some Jackson Hole action. Happy Monday to you, by the way. Mass liquidations across the cryptosphere. Strategies buying more. David Schwartz is upgrading the XRPL system. We'll talk XRP price because we're right at that $3 mark, along with...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Happy Monday to you all, and you see a lot of red up on the screen, and the reason we're red has to do with rate cut expectations. Yeah, we'll get into it. Why? Because the Fed's got a meeting this week. A little bit of Jackson Hole BS. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Now, before we get into the news, you know the deal. Your comments come first because you, the viewer, matter most. Let's get into it. Chino BX starts us off and says, moral of the story, regs gives alts legs. Can't wait for it to happen. Yeah, we should be getting some reg talk here happening in September. With it, the latest regs passing in October. That's if they can agree. Now, I've got one for you here that you need to see. It's a little bit of misinformation, but let me clear things up for you. CW Hulk says XRP price will not appreciate till Ripple stops releasing tokens from escrow or the escrow is depleted. That's bullshit. That is totally bullshit. Let's look at XRP price real quick. Here is XRP over the last year. Do you see XRP price going up? Yes, you do. Is the circulating supply going up since that time? Yes, it is. Is XRP releasing stuff from escrow during that time? Yes, they are. So the price is going up while they are releasing it. So the release of escrow has nothing to do with the price. People are fucking stupid. Look, the two biggest events that have helped XRP price-wise has been the November election, when we had optimism that there was a changing regulatory environment with crypto, and then this boom right here when we had what? The announcement of Crypto Week and what? More regulatory optimism. So no, just because Ripple dumps on the market, it doesn't stop the price. Continues. They've been releasing an average of 60 million tokens every 2 weeks since mid-March with occasional spikes over 100 million. Supply does affect price. Basic market dynamics, just stating facts. No, you're a fucking idiot. Because guess what? During this time, the supply has gone up, but the price has gone up. So no, you're not stating facts. You're stating misinformation, and that's why you all have me to bring you the news, whether it's good, bad, happy, or sad. And today's news is what, everyone? Someone who is just a bumbling idiot. Sorry, Hulk. You are misinformed. Heat map, oh, it's not pretty with Bitcoin at 115,000, ETH at 43.65, XP at 299, well, Doge is at 22 cents, ADA is at 91, still strong though from the most recent move. Let's get right into it. Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP risk further losses as liquidations cross $500 million. Bitcoin pulls back below the 115,000 mark to test the 50-day EMA on Monday. Oh, why is this happening? Institutional interest selling off. Oh, we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about how ETH was garnering support, Bitcoin was losing support, and we had a little bit of sell-off action on the last business day. That was the 14th. Let's see what happens when I report to you the news tomorrow. Now, Larry Summers is out there and telling Scott Bessent, look, unless we see a recession, you shouldn't be subscribing a massive rate cut. Here's the deal. Some players out there are like, yo, we need massive rate cuts to spark this economy. The problem is, if you cut rates by a lot, you're basically saying that the economy is screwed and we need to jumpstart this bad boy. The thing is, you don't want a recession because that's extremely bearish for crypto. And a lot of the pain that we're seeing up on the screen right now has to do with rate cut expectations. Here's the issue. Right now, the market is pricing in an 85% chance that we're going to get a rate cut on the meeting for September. But between now and then, the Fed's Jackson Hole Symposium is happening on August 21st. That's 3 days from now. We're expecting Jerome Powell to be hawkish during that meeting, saying, no, we're probably not going to get any cuts. That's what the market's freaking out red about. So you've got expectations of people going, yeah, but we need the rate cuts, but we had PPI that was high, And we have expectations from Jerome Powell to be hawkish during the next speech. Now, if he's dovish, we could go back into the green on the 21st. Stay tuned because I'll keep you posted, because when he talks, I'll cover it. All right, what else do I got for you? Record trading volume surge for BTC ETFs amid Ethereum's rising momentum. We talked about Ethereum lately. That's the blue here, has been garnering the attention. We are seeing massive volumes for ETFs. So what's going on? Ethereum ETFs posted approximately 17 billion in weekly volume, the highest we ever have seen. Yes, you heard me correctly. The highest we have ever seen. ETF analyst Eric Balchunas highlights that the trading volume for both BTC and ETH have surpassed previous highs. ETFs have narrowed the performance gap with BTC, as I've showed you right here, right? Remember, orange is BTC, think a sailor. ETH is blue. Normally, you see a lot of what, right? See the orange dominating? Well, recently, it's been blue dominating. Let's keep learning that the ETH ETFs have passed BTC. 17 billion in activity recently, suggesting a resurgence in popularity and a resurgence in the alt, shifting market dynamics. Now, this is important. Why? Because you still are seeing players out there like MicroStrategy, Strategy now, buying BTC. Strategy acquires another 430 BTC during market volatility. All right, so Strategy buys some BTC at an average price of 119,666. Oh, so they're in the red on this purchase. Yes, they are. And they only bought 430 BTC. That's not that much. They now hold almost 630,000 BTC. So, what's happening right now? Bigs out there want to see what happens to the Fed. Because if the Fed is going to start pivoting soon, it's going to start saving them a lot of money. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bro, it's only a quarter basis point. What's that going to do? Well, look, if you've got hundreds of millions of dollars, a quarter basis point is a lot. Now, if you're going to cut it, not just a quarter, but another quarter and another quarter after that in the next 6 to 9 months, 3/4 of a basis point, 100 basis points, that's going to add up to a whole bunch of savings out there. So these big money players, your Strategies, Metaplanets, other companies across the globe, happy Monday again to y'all, these players out there are waiting to see what Jerome Powell and the other economic data are saying in order to give them guidance on, hey, should we spend now or should we wait 3 more months for rates to come down? And that's what this is all about, because I want you to think of money flow in terms of big picture stuff. Players out there are going, look, do we wait? Do we hold on to our cash a little bit longer? And think, if you hold on to your cash, what is that doing? That's putting money on the sideline, not in the market. Which does what? It's sell pressure, right? Not buy pressure. And with PPI coming in hot, CPI not being the best, well, inflation is a problem. And inflation is a problem right now because of what, everyone? People are freaking out because of the tariffs. Right now, all the red that you're seeing up on the screen is reactionary to tariffs. People, economists out there especially, are starting to say, hey, look, a lot of the problems with prices are tariff related. So keep all this in mind as we go through this week, as we go through Jackson Hole, as we go through these labor reports, as we start going through all the jobs reports out there. It's all about money flow. Now, David Schwartz built a hell of a machine out there. Little Ryzen 9 9950X action. Yeah, dude went balls deep. Well, anyways, his stuff is near production ready, so dude is putting his money where his mouth is. Either way, he's got an update to it right here with his hub server. Really, really cool stuff. I don't want to get into it because it does have a little bit of dorkish information in, but if you want to dork out a little bit and you want to get into technical specs and stuff like that, talks about the glitch that happened. It's all linked down below. You're welcome to read it. This is about a 5-minute read for this article. Either way, Schwartz said the improvements to the collector are in progress and should prevent similar interests in the future. He reassured the community that the hub server project remained on track. I like this. All right, dude is trying to do what he can to support XRPL. He found a problem where there were some things going on, information being sent back and forth that wasn't really kosher. I like it. Don't want to dork out too much, but I got it for you. Overall in the crypto market right now, volume bumped back up. Already up 52% from Sunday to 177 million. Right now, players are making moves in the market. And the reason they're making moves is because they're unsure what's going to happen with the Fed, right? The markets want guidance right now. That's why you're seeing a lot of volume back and forth here, because the players want to know where to go. Altcoin season index still strong, 45 out of 100. But what are you noticing up on the screen? BTC down, ETH down, BNB. So all the big players are down. Market cap under 4 trillion right now. Not good. We already talked about the institution money. We're going to see what happens. ETH has been dominating it as of late. Let's swing it on over to XRP, where yes, we've been battling that $3 mark. Go to the 7-day and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about here, right? Well, yeah, we got to some 330 action, but here we go. We had a little slumperoni, and now we're kind of picking our way back on up. Volume for XRP, very healthy right now, $7 billion. Let's go to those candlesticks. We're not going to go to the 15-minute because we're just watching this move breach the $3 mark right here, as you can see up on the screen. We'll go later in the day into the 15-minute mark as we print more of these candlesticks. But you can see we just breached this action during what? During the start of the trading week. So again, what are you noticing? During the weekend, traditional finance takes a nap. Then all of a sudden, once traditional finance wakes up, they start trading the action. It's all about the rates. So once traditional markets started waking up, that's what you can see on the screen right here. Boom, sell-off action right there for you. So what are the markets telling us? They want rates to come down. They're afraid of inflation. They're afraid of the impacts of tariffs. And they want the Fed to be more dovish. But remember, the Fed is meeting Jackson Hole on the 21st. I'll keep you covered on whatever happens with that. But right now, the market, a lot of volume trading, a lot of uncertainty, and a whole bunch of us out there, me included, are hoping we get a rate cut in September. But right now, we're not expecting it, even though the current players out there are starting to price it in. But we're thinking Jerome Powell might be stingy for one more meeting and hold out until the 29th. Do you think we're going to get a cut in the September meeting? Or do you think he's going to make us wait until October? Halloween rate cut? Some candy rate cuts? Crypto with Klaus? I don't know, everyone. So the CME is pricing in some rate cut action right now with a pretty high probability of 85% that we're going to get the cut in September. For me, it's a bit optimistic. I don't think I would go that high. I think I would start kind of going more around the 50-50 mark, if even that high. Here's why. PPI came in hot. Jerome Powell has said plenty of times that, look, tariffs, yeah, inflation, that's kind of his bag, right? He's been saying, oh, tariffs, short-term inflation, tariff, short-term inflation. What have we seen? PPI popping up, short-term inflation lately. Trump tariffs, and he's not a fan of Trump either. So I wouldn't be surprised if at Jackson Hole he does as usual. We gotta wait for the data. The short-term data right now is telling us that we're getting a spike of inflation. And then because of that spike, we might need to wait a little bit longer just to see what happens. And then it could push the market down even further. So right now you're seeing the market price ahead the negative action from Jerome Powell in his speech. Why? Because the market needs guidance. And that's what you're seeing right now happen. It's what I told you with the August trap. You have no big economic data things happening this month. No big FOMC meetings. You don't have any big meetings. It's all this little stuff. So these little things like Jackson Hole, PPI, and stuff like that are having a massive impact on the market. It's a vacuum month. It's a trap month. And that's what's happening right now with crypto. We're falling into these traps. Now, that being said, we're still floating around the $3 mark, so we're surviving these traps very, very well. And if we do survive these traps well and get into September, where we do potentially get a rate cut and we get some regaronis, well then, guys and gals and blue-haired giraffes, we're doing just fine in my book. So let's see what happens. And again, user comments, I bring them in the beginning. Why? Because you, the viewer, matter most, but sometimes not always the most accurate information. Because XRP's price has gone up over the last year. The circulating supply has gone up because Ripple has increased the circulating supply, so there is no correlation, is there? So when that viewer stated just facts, they were just wrong because those aren't the facts. The fact is, XRP's price has gone up the most with what? Regulatory optimism. And that's bigger than what? Numerator, denominator. So suck on that. Choo choo what? Choo choo biznachos.